Okay.
I think that's pretty good.
So Andrew, it's very good.
Yeah.
Andrew gives us a question here. He says, as a leader, which is more important, relationships or results?
Well, I would say that I don't know if it's which is more important, but the way I think of it is like which comes first,
Okay.
relationships or results. Like if I'm going to start, I know that a lot of people on the track team, they like me and they
Yep.
got me.
Yep.
And so if you're going to get results from someone, I think you need to have a relationship with them first. Because if you don't have a relationship with someone, people aren't going to come through for you.
Yeah.
And like I think that's important. Like if you're going to you want results. Both results and relationships are important.
Yeah. I look at it like this, Andrew. I think it's a great question. I think it's something that people struggle with a lot.
Yeah.
The way I try to lead is through relationships,
Mm-hmm.
because people don't care about what you know until they know how much you care. So people don't care about how much you know until they know how much you care. If you don't have a strong relationship with people, then you can't lead them properly. You can forcefully lead them.
Mm-hmm.
You can make them do things. You can put the fear of God into them. You can threaten to fire people. You can do all that stuff, but that only lasts so long, and it's not genuine, right? If I spend my time yelling at people and demanding results, there's a good chance they're going to listen to me, but they're only going to listen to me because they want me to shut up and they don't want to hear me.
And they're probably not going to stick around if a
Right.
better option comes.
Right. And so I believe that if you can build strong relationships with the people around you, then everybody is rowing in the same direction. Everybody's fighting for that same goal. And everybody wants to put in maximum effort because they care about you and they know that you care about them, and it's reciprocal.
Yeah.
For me, again, as a leader, I know that we're not going to have success every single time. I know that there's going to be times where we miss the mark and maybe the result just isn't there. But when that happens, how do you care for and nurture and grow the people around you so that you can get to those results the next time?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I think if you focus on results and put your emphasis on that, you're not going to get relationships. But if you put your emphasis on relationships, then through that, you're going to get your results.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was well said. That was well said. That was worth the price of admission right there.
That's what I was trying to say in my Kamala rambling that I did. But
but
I just needed time. I needed time to get it out.
So when you go back to your other story about Coach coming down on that kid,
Mm-hmm.
the only reason he was able to come down on that kid is because he had a relationship with the team.
Yeah.
If he didn't have a relationship with the team,
then you're like, this guy's a douche.
Yeah,
What
he
the
would have
heck?
been. He would have become the enemy of the team.
Yeah.
And by coming down on that kid, he built stronger relationships with the people that already had trust with him, because what that said was, I can put my trust in my coach because he knows what matters.
Yeah.
He knows that he can see when effort is not being put in.
Yeah.
And he wants the good of the team, not the passiveness of one individual. And so I think that you can harness that when you can when you have the relationship, you can push people further.
Mm-hmm.
And some people are going to break and they're going to separate, and that's okay.
Yeah, and like through having good relationships, you can, like Coach, drop the hammer.
Yeah.
And then go back to having that good relationship.
Yep.
If you don't and you drop the hammer, you're just stuck.
Yep.
You can't get out of that.
And it's like, and Andrew agrees with us. I'm glad you agree. You
I
don't
do
have
too.
to
Yeah.
agree. If you would have disagreed, it would have been a different conversation, and I would have loved to hear those thoughts. It's like being a parent, right? And I'm not saying that when you are managing people that you're parenting them. That's not my thought. But I feel like it's like being a parent where like you want the result of your kid doing what you want them to do or what they're supposed to do to keep them healthy and safe. But you also need to have the relationship with them, and they need to know why you want them to do those things, because you love them, because you care about them, because you're worried about their safety. And that's the relational side of all of those things. If you just have a good kid who sits at the table and eats their dinner and doesn't disrespect you or whatever it looks like, right? If that's the end result, to have that kid, but you have no relationship with them, I believe that you failed as a parent.
Mhm.
Because they're going to go out and they're going to become a parent one day, and if they follow your example, they're going to make a horrible child.
No, they're gonna go out and not be that good little well-behaved kid anymore.
I'm sure you've seen that also.
I have seen that also.
Yeah. And it's a delicate thing. It's a weird balance. Leadership is one of those weird things where you don't know. You're kind of flying by the seat of your pants. You're trying to figure out what that looks like for everybody. So I hope that helps. I'm glad that you agreed. My boy, my guy, Mr. Kyle Healy is with us, and he says, "How do you encourage growth in an underperforming employee?" You got any thoughts on that?
Well,
Okay.
I can't look at this from the perspective of the boss,
Sure.
but if I was an underperforming employee,
Yep.
I would like and appreciate
Okay.
if my boss, who knows I'm an underperforming employee, would this is where relationships come in.
Yeah.
And try and understand like why. Like
Hmm.
is it like people learn things in different ways?
Yeah.
Is it they aren't understanding this way? Do they need a different way? Am I getting stuck at this position? Like, is this not the right position for me? Like, if the boss would understand or like try and understand why I'm not performing as I should, then I think that's also helpful. And also making sure I know that I'm not performing as much as I should. Because it would suck if there's two different expectations out there and nobody knows there's two different expectations out
Yeah.
there. Um, yeah, I think that's what I would want. I would want a boss who would be like, all right, hey, what's going on? Why? What's going on here? Like, what's the problem? I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. And I think, again, it goes back to Andrew's question about relationships or results. And so I think when I look at it, you have, like Jack mentioned, you have to have the relationship with somebody so that you can go up to whoever this is. We'll call them Filbert, because I don't have a Filbert and nobody will get upset.
Right.
So you go up to Filbert and you say, "Hey, Filbert, what's going on? You seem like maybe you're off a little bit. Is there anything that you want to talk about?" And you have to have the ability to have a conversation where you can say, "Is there anything that you need to talk about?" And hopefully Filbert feels comfortable enough to be able to be honest and open about what's going on. And I think what you mentioned also is really important: setting expectations, and making sure that the expectations are understood by both parties, so that you can say, "Hey, my expectation for Jack right now is that we have podcasts filled up and we can have interviews every week. And now I learned that I need to help him with that a little bit because he doesn't have all the contacts that I have." So he might be underperforming because he is not given the tools that he needs for success. And so that's a part of it. But as long as both parties know, okay, this is the goal, this is what we're hoping for you to achieve. Are you there? Are you not there? And how do we get you there? Um, I think that, having those conversations, making sure that there's no obstacles in the way that are personal, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, because sometimes people have stuff going on in their lives that can get in the way of a lot of other things, and that's bad too. And you want to know what's happening, and you may not be given all the information, and
Yep.
just having empathy to what's actually going on in somebody else's life. Hey there. Thanks for watching the Manufacturing Alliance podcast. If you liked what you saw, click here to watch the full interview, or you can click our channel link here. Either way, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. That's it for now. Take care and God bless.